All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. Little solo pod today for all the guys that are out there trying their best to make it in this world. And I'm going to give you some of the secrets, some of the tips I use to make life easier, to bend your reality. When you're getting the things that you deserve in life, it doesn't have to feel so difficult. For a lot of people, they will grind their whole life and they will never amount to anything. And there's a lot to think about with that. Hard work is important, but without the right mental models in the right vehicle, without letting fate guide you, it can be difficult to get the success that you deserve. So this episode is about laws of the universe from a book that I am very fond of called Transurfing Reality, a book that millionaires read to turn into billionaires. And some of the concepts in this book are quite hard to understand. A lot of people have trouble understanding these concepts. So I'm going to try and explain a few of them for you. So when you read the book, maybe you can understand it a little bit more. So let's get straight into it. Number one, we're going to touch on a point. First law of the universe is something called pendulums. Pendulums are basically big stores of cosmic energy, so to speak. And I'll give you an example of a pendulum. COVID is a pendulum. Anything that takes multiple people's time and attention and focus becomes a pendulum. The more pendulums you follow in your life, the less personal power you have is the best way I could describe it. So, just popped in my head, Liverpool football team, NFL, Celtics basketball, movies, COD 6 video games, thinking about that girl, COVID, watching the news. These are all pendulums. The more power you put into a pendulum, the less power you have personally. This is how pendulums grow. This is how they control you. This is how everybody's controlled. There's pendulums of nightlife and social scenes and music and COVID and all these different things are pendulums designed to steal your personal power. As a man that wants to keep as much of his personal power as possible, you have to remove yourself from these pendulums. And that means not giving them your time or attention. So just before I changed my life, when I was working a 9 to 5, and COVID happened, I was a news listener, unbelievably. I would listen to the news on the radio on a daily basis. And I thought it was important to stay up to date with current events. When you realize that the news is exactly formulated to make you believe what they want you to believe, to make you controllable, you stop listening to the news. So for me, in my head, I thought, COVID's real. This is scary. Oh, I get some time off work. Oh, a few months have passed. Not really anybody dying. Seems a little bit like it could just be a normal flu rebranded. This isn't making sense to me. Everybody's livelihoods is going down the drain. Listening to the news is making me upset and anxious. I'm going to stop listening to it. And I cut off the news when I was 21 years old. I've not watched one bit of news broadcast. I've not listened to the news. I turn the news off in a hotel gym if it's on the TV. I have not seen one bit of news or current affairs since I was 21 years old. I'm nearly 26. So it's about 5 years I've stayed out of touch with current events. And you know why that's okay? Because I live in my own reality. So unless it impacts me in my day-to-day life, those things I will obviously notice, but unless it impacts me in my day-to-day life, it is of no concern of mine, and I've freed myself of a lot of pendulums. I've also let go of any idolization of people. It's nice to look at people and think, that's a good trait in that person. I could use that. That person's done some inspiring things. That shows it's possible for me. But to idolize somebody else is just yet again another pendulum. Too much importance put on things that you don't control is a pendulum that steals your personal power. So tip number one for the young guys listening to this, maybe even older guys, there's going to be a lot of things that try and steal your attention. You become a powerful man by believing in your own reality, by only doing the things that concern you, by cutting out the news, by cutting out excess information, by not getting bothered by stuff, every little thing. Anything that can draw your attention, your anger, is a pendulum, and it steals anger away from your true purpose. So that's number one. Number two that leads me on to is I believe everybody in your reality has been put there to help serve you. So when I meet a person, there's nobody in my reality that has not been put here to help me attain my goal, to help me become the best version of me. Everybody contains a lesson. Everybody contains a magic bit of power that if we learn to read it, if we learn to see, if we learn to manipulate our surroundings, our people, our reality, if we know how to get what we want, if we know how to influence and persuade, we understand that the game we're playing is actually full of characters that can help us. It's full of people that can help guide the way, full of people that can give us a leg up. A lot of people feel like they're in constant competition, like everybody's trying to bring them down. This is purely a mindset shift. You have to believe that everybody's here to help you, even the ones that are not, because they teach you valuable lessons. They make you more mature. They make you more wise. I believe everything happens for a reason. Okay, for a lot of people, they'll think, this sounds like mumbo jumbo, and how can I actually implement this, and why is it important? Because it just sounds like something that doesn't exist because you can't see it, touch it, or feel it. There's another concept called excess importance, and it's probably the reason that you don't have the money, the wealth, or the life that you desire. The things that we place huge importance on elude us. They run away. When we try to chase things and catch them in the universe, in our day-to-day lives, they run away. It's like the girl that you shower with too much affection, too much attention. She thinks to herself, why should I go with you? You're obviously desperate for me, so I can already have you. Therefore, I don't want you. And the things that we want, money, fame, success, all these things will elude us if we want them too much. The idea of setting up your life for success, in my opinion, is you decide exactly what you want. You decide exactly how you want to live your life on a daily basis, your life setup. That's what's important. Accolades, material things, they will not make you happy. Very good to have them still. Very enjoyable. Can make life considerably easier. Very difficult to be happy without money. Very important to have it. But if you base your life on, okay, one day I'm going to have a Rolex and a Lambo and I'm going to feel complete, that's just a fallacy. That doesn't do anything. You can have nothing and feel complete. You can have everything and feel very incomplete. So what should you do? And my concept of this is that you should know exactly what you want, but know exactly how you want to live your life for maximum enjoyment. Fine, if getting in a Lamborghini and driving to the gym is what makes you happy, that's perfect. That's fine. You can do that. That's not allowed. But you need to build it into a lifestyle that you actually enjoy and think about, what do I want to do on a day-to-day basis? Where do I want to live? How much do I want to sleep? When do I want to wake up? Who do I want to go gym with? What people do I want to have around me? Do I want to have a family? That's what you decide. You have to know that about yourself. Very, very, very clear on what the goal is and where you're trying to get, because this activates your reticular guidance system from the book Psycho-Cybernetics. I believe that's the right term. It might not be. There's a concept in the book Psycho-Cybernetics that what we think about consistently and picture in our mind, our mind will try to guide us towards. And if we have no picture, no end destination, no map, it's very difficult to get the thing that we want. So in regards to excess importance, what you do is you decide how you want to live. You consider it done already. You think about it as if it is done. You vision it and manifest it in your mind's eye as if it is done, and picture it with perfect clarity. But you never want it. You don't want it because you've already got it, because it's already there. And once it's there, if you've got the ability to see it clearly enough and the courage to take the action, eventually it will be reality. And most people get caught up in this because they don't picture it perfectly, and then they put so much importance on it. I have to have this, otherwise I'm worthless. I have to have this, otherwise I will never be happy. I have to have this job. I have to get this pay raise. I have to get that girl. I have to get famous. I have to do these things. And you think you have to do these things to give yourself value. It's actually the flip side of that. Once you find the value in yourself and you realize that you're infinitely valuable and infinitely important in your own right, that's when these things start to come to you easily and they become much easier for you to attain. When I was in Thailand and I first got there, I was a huge one for excess importance. I put so much emphasis and importance on becoming somebody that I could be proud of having all the money and the cars and the girls and the success. And it would eat me up until I was in fits of rage. I would sit in the shower and I would scream. I'd genuinely scream in the shower. I'd sit on the floor and I'd be furious that I didn't have what I wanted. And I was living my dream from 2 years ago. When I was sitting at my 9 to 5, I thought, wow, what if I could just be free and live in a little place in Thailand? I was living my dream, but it was like a horror story. I was tormenting myself with excess importance. And one day I just decided I'm too tired for this. I'm too tired to be angry about not having what I want yet. And I'm forcing it too much. I'm working so hard to take it that I don't have the energy for it. I'm depleted. So I let it all go. I let all the importance go. And he said, you know what? I'm happy now. I don't need it. It's okay. I'm fine how I am. And I respect myself because I go to the gym and I do everything I can. And if I make it or not, no worries. I'll be all right. I'll survive. I believe in myself. So all my anxiety and stress went away and I just started to enjoy things. That aura gives you things from the universe. That's the aura you want to attain. Let go of all the stress, all the worry, all of the mad climbing and scratching to get what you want, and simply let it come to you. The thing you have to remember about this is just the intention of the action you put in. You can never get anywhere just by manifesting. You can never get anywhere by just talking about it. You can never get anywhere by just listening to a podcast like this. When you can get somewhere is by visioning it, putting the actions in, and letting go of the result and letting go of the way you do the actions and the forcefulness and the abuse that you put on yourself. You don't have to abuse yourself. You can love yourself and you can get your work done. And that's a very nice place to be. That's sustainable over time. And life becomes much, much easier. Life becomes far easier when you learn to live that way. Now, some of you might be dealing with various different problems in your life. And this is where I want to talk about vibrational frequencies. Something that I believe about a law of the universe is that we have different vibrational frequencies that each other can sense. When people meet me, if I'm on top form, there is an aura that you cannot speak about. You just see it and you feel it. And I've met other people with this same aura. And it allows us to bend our reality. It allows us to take other people's power. It allows us to influence and persuade the people around us. And it allows us to make what's in our mind's eye our reality. As if we have special control over the world around us. Now, if you have any problems in your life at the moment, these problems are never solved on the same plane of vibration that they come up in. So if you're feeling a lot of guilt, for example, that's a very low vibrational state. So maybe you break promises to yourself on a regular basis. You don't get up when you say you're going to get up. You don't go to the gym. You drink alcohol. Big vibrational state lower will kill your cosmic energy. Alcohol. You realize this over time as you become more conscious and aware of your inner body. And if you're killing your vibration, you will start to feel feelings of guilt because you know that you're not being all that you can be. And that's all that guilt really is. It just kills your own self-confidence because you're doing things that you know you shouldn't be doing and you're breaking promises to yourself. From that state, many problems can arise. There'll be issues with your health, issues with your finances, issues with your job, issues with your girlfriend. They'll all arise from that lower state. Do not try and fix these problems without changing your state. That's the most important thing to remember here, is if you go and change your state, which could be a run, it could be listening to a podcast like this, which will raise your vibrational frequency. It will raise the way you feel about yourself. It will give you new information and ideas. If you journal, if you write, if you get things out, if you allow space for creative guidance from the creator, when you write and you let ideas come to you, if you do something productive, you start to cross a few things off your list. These actions, including breathing, breath work, listening to certain frequencies, songs, dancing around, ice bath, sauna, things that get you active, get your blood pumping, will increase your frequency. Before you look at solving problems, before you look at making plans for your life, get yourself into a high vibrational state. When you're in a high vibrational state, a whole new world of answers and opportunities are available for you. When you're at a low vibrational state, if you're down here, there's a couple of answers down here. Very shallow ones, bad ones. And up here, all the answers are held. Nothing you can't do up here. Your job is to raise that state, to research vibrational states, find the way to raise them. So each day you're starting up here. When I start each day as a man, I am down here. We all are when we stop sleeping. Some people wake up in a good mood. I don't personally. And I know quite a few guys similar to me, high performers that wake up shells of themselves the previous evening. And I will wake up and think, fuck, I'm a piece of shit. I don't want to do anything I've got on my list today. And I need to rebuild myself back to a vibrational state. So the first thing I do is I'll wake up and I'll write, and I'll get all of that shit out of my head. It's called morning pages. I do 3 of them a day. They're written here. And that is why you're getting a podcast today, because these ideas came to me from the creator when I opened up to allow myself to create in the morning. And these ideas came in. So yeah, I'll rebuild myself in the morning. I'll rebuild my state. So don't expect to always be in a high vibrational state. Even I have to rebuild it every day. It starts with my writing, getting up at the right time, going to the gym. Then after those few things, those wins are done, they're in the bank. Then I feel like, okay, now I kind of trust myself again. Now I'm feeling good. Now I'm in a position to do my best work. A lesson that's worth learning sooner rather than later is that the things we don't want and spend time tormenting us in our mind is what we get. If we put that focus and energy out, it's just as strong as really wanting something that makes it run. Really not wanting something to happen causes it to happen. So you have to make sure that you control the thoughts inside of your mind, and you don't put your focus on everything you don't want. If you put your focus on everything you don't want to happen, you will attract it into your life. If you put your focus on everything you do want to happen, and that's all you think about in a positive mindset, but you don't make it your be-all and end-all. It's like, these are the things that I know that I want. If it comes into my life, fantastic. If not, I'm already full. I'm already fantastic as it is. It would be a beautiful benefit. That's how you live your life. And the controlling of your mind is the most important thing. I see guys all the time. They get a hit. They get a big video pop off. They get some success in business, and they lose all their momentum because they can't control their mind. And I'm not perfect at this. I've struggled a lot with my mind, with having to control my mindset, my moods. That is just part of the game. That's part of being human, and it's part of winning in business and in life. Controlling your mind is the most powerful thing you can possibly do. If you become your own best friend, if you treat yourself well, if you control your mind and your mood, then you will win. Part of that is making sure that you do not automatically switch into negative thinking. You need to protect your mind against negative thinking, and you need to think about best case scenarios. Whenever something comes into your head, your mind will try and protect you. The reason it does this is because it's an instinct. It makes us careful for when there could have been lions and tigers and bears and all sorts of different critters and creatures hanging around the corners. So it will try and protect you. Unfortunately, these things don't really exist in our day-to-day world anymore. So you don't need to be as careful of them. And this negative mindset that your mind instantly goes to is just a detriment on your success. So every time you now get a thought that says, but this could happen, but this is the worst case scenario, you combat that with, but this is the best case scenario. And that's what you focus on, best case scenarios. And you understand the worst case. You just take it in your stride. I've never met a person that has had any negatives, long-lasting negatives in their life of being overly positive. People that are negative, or they will call it realistic, are trying to protect themselves from change. They're scared to protect themselves from change. Now, what this stops you doing is taking action, which is the most important thing, and being free to experiment and not worried about failing, because you know there is no failure, there's only lessons. The people that know there's no failure and only lessons become very successful because they learn so quickly and they can rebound so quickly. The people that try and protect themselves never become successful. That's the thing that I've noticed. So you might be thinking to yourself, yeah, but if I'm super positive, this might happen. It's like, no, those things will happen either way. The people that are positive can get back on the horse. That's the thing. So you've got to keep your mind positive as much as you can. And for me, even my mind's negative sometimes. That's why it's so important to change your state before you start thinking about things. Another thing worth doing and just keeping in your mind is never making decisions, big decisions for your life, when you are hungover, when you are at a low vibrational state, when you haven't had enough sleep, when you're not looking after yourself properly, when you're overly stressed. Don't make big decisions for your life. I've found a few times in my life big decisions were made when I was in those states, and they were bad decisions. I'll take them as they were because they've led me to where I am. So maybe they weren't the worst decisions in the world, but now when I try and make decisions, I try and do it with a clear mind and a clear state. All right, and to finish up this podcast, it's just a short one before I start just blabbering on about random nonsense, is directly towards money, related directly towards money. If you don't have much money right now, believe that you do have enough money. Don't kill yourself over not having enough money. And I mean that metaphorically, not physically. Don't be going crazy in your head that you don't have enough money. And if you've made money, never, ever switch into the path of thinking, oh, what if it runs out? What if I don't have enough? What if it doesn't come back to me? It's just not an abundance mindset. And unfortunately, when you switch to that way of thinking, when you stop being open and receiving from the universe and you take in scarcity, that becomes your reality. And you'll formulate it yourself. And it's very difficult because you have to keep an eye on yourself. No matter how much money you earn, at some points you're going to start thinking, oh, what if I don't earn this again? What if this doesn't happen? You need to make sure you put those feelings away. And you always have enough money. Like, there's no way I could spend it all tomorrow and it would all come back. And that's how you need to view your money. And you try and be sensible with it. You try and make your investments and do your thing. But honestly, the people that have abundance mindsets, they don't need that. They're guided by something more than physical reality. They don't need crazy plans and all these things. As long as you can stay abundant in your thinking and take the actions and learn and develop, you'll always be guided on the right path. There's always money coming back to you. You spend it and it will return. I've spent crazy amounts of money. They always return. I've never regretted spending money because it's just a tool. That's all it is. It's a tool to craft and bend your reality. And the more importance you put on it, the more crazy you make it. And the amount of importance people put on money and people that have it is absurd. Absolutely absurd. It's the reason why you don't have it, because you place so much importance on it and you're so impressed by it. And it's this magic thing that you couldn't possibly ever have. I'll never be impressed by somebody with a lot of money, because why would that be impressive when I already have it all? When I can already attain that? That's not impressive to me. What's impressive to me is the character of the man. I don't spend time, I'm rare in this regard. Some people know this. I don't spend time with anyone I don't want to spend time with. I spend time with guys that I like, that are inspiring, that I genuinely get on with. I don't care how much money you've got, if there's a cool trip or something that I can go on for free. I don't give a shit. I don't want to go. I only believe in people, and money has ceased to impress me because I know that it's easily attained, and you can attain it being a very good person and you can attain it being a bad person. It doesn't mean anything towards your character. Character's so much deeper than that with money. So yeah, don't idolize money as much, because it will come to you, it will flow to you. You will get your time with the sufficient work and understanding of the universe. You can find your path. I would highly recommend you read Reality Transurfing over and over again until you understand it all. And I need to read it over and over again until I understand it all. And I'll probably come on and do another pod with you when I understand some more of this book. But so far, it's served me well in my life. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're interested in being around guys that are on this wavelength, on this state, come and join the New Elite. It's my private brotherhood, my network, the guys I spend my time with. A carefully curated group of online entrepreneurs around the world that are focused on leveling themselves up and reaching the highest state of human consciousness and manipulating our realities to become a new elite. The elites that run the world, we're the new elite. See, it's a good name. Anyway, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you on the next one.